Hello and welcome to the Daily Forex Report for February 21st. We are looking at the U.S.-Japanese yen pair first. This particular pair created pretty much an inside bar. It did tag the low, basically came right down to it. If you have 3 decimal places here, you'll know that this one was just a hair lower than this one. Basically came down to the same pip value. You can see here that it did close up. Overall, this area of, as well as this area of support has been fairly strong. Once we get a break through it, I do believe it will come down to this point very, very quickly. Now, let's take a look at where it's going. Potentially going up to 83.61, possibly as low as 82.66. Look for some resistance around 83.50 and look for some support around 83.00. Now the Euro-USD pair, this pair closed down, came up and tagged the high, closed down for the session. We are looking for this pair to potentially go up and hit some resistance around 137.50, possibly hitting some support around 136.18. Look for the pound to move lower. It did gap up, closed lower, potentially moving lower. Look for it to potentially go as high as 162.75 and hit resistance there, possibly moving down and hitting support around 161.75. Now the US Swiss, this pair closed up after gapping down. It did close that gap to the previous Friday's close after a strong move to the downside. We are looking for it to potentially go up and hit resistance around 0.9525, possibly hitting some support around 0.9395. Now, as far as news announcements go, we have the Canadian dollar releasing their retail sales for December at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus on that is that it has dropped from 1.3% down to a negative 0.1%, which would, of course, be negative news for the Canadian dollar. We also have the U.S. releasing the Consumer Confidence Report for February at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus on that is that it's grown from 60.6 to 63. Now, what am I looking for during this next session? Well, if you take a look at the pound US dollar pair, if this pair continues to move lower, taking out this past session's low, I do believe we'll grab a quick scalp right here. You can see we had this particular pair hit an area of resistance here and here and here previously, so it could act as support. More than likely, though, if it breaks to the downside, it's going to come on down probably to this area, even lower. But grabbing that those quick pips right there of about 19 or 20 pips, 18 pips or so, I do believe will happen. The only thing you need to be concerned with is that this is around the 1.6200 mark. You may want to make sure that it's going to break on through before getting into this trade. Make sure it's going to drop to the 161.50, 98 area before entering this trade. Well, that about wraps us up for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.